Hello everybody, welcome to Us Rusty. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Let's talk about Warriors versus Lakers, and just for a heads up, I promise these post-game recaps will not be coming out so late in the day that the new slate of games for the day is about to start. That's just how this one happened to work out because I overslept as per usual. But Lakers versus Golden State Warriors. This is the second game of the day for the NBA's opener. And again, this one's not as much of a good game as the first one. However, I feel like a lot of the conversation around it has been askew, a little bit too negative. The Lakers overall, obviously, they're the main conversation piece because while everyone wanted to talk about the Warriors and what they would look like post Draymond Green, the Lakers always dominate the conversation when they're a part of it. And in this instance, I saw a lot of people talking trash about how the Lakers played. And I completely understand how the negatives of this game from the Lakers side of things could be what stuck out to you. However, what I'm going to choose to look at this, the way I'm going to choose to look at it is LeBron missed damn near every jump shot he took. And that was a huge factor. No one made their open threes, which I understand that the Lakers are not a good three-point shooting team, but there is no current modern three-point shooting team that would, on the average night, shoot 25% from three. They're not going to be 10 for 40 every day. And I would say the fact that they got up 43-point attempts in the first place is kind of a positive sign, especially because a majority of those, like 5 attempts from Patrick Beverley, 2 from Austin Reeves is cool, 6 from Kendrick Nunn is cool, 3 from Juan Toscano Anderson is cool, 3 from this Ryan guy who they signed to be their Duncan Robinson, I guess. He shot 3, apparently he's a shooter. And then, like, the only guy who took more threes than you would like is Russell Westbrook, but that's historically how it always is. Maybe Anthony Davis as well. But even then, like, 3 threes from Russell Westbrook, I'll take that. Like, overall, I'm saying the shot diet was there. They're not going to shoot 25% from 3. And I feel like they overall had a pretty good game. While LeBron was not making his jump shots, he eventually turned on his ability to drive, which he always does, is he's like, okay, I guess I'm LeBron. Even though now it's like, it's hard to ask him to do that all the time because he's 38, but also, like, maybe don't be so passive all the damn time. Anthony Davis was phenomenal in this one. He finished with 27 and 6, and his defense honestly stood out far more than his offense did to me. Although I will make a note about his offense, which is I've always been historically critical of Anthony Davis and his shot selection, specifically the fact that he just opts for face-up jump shots all the time. And the thing is, he's not bad at them. He was bad at them last year, but he's historically been a pretty good mid-range shooter. But it's like, it felt like that was half of what he was doing. And he's not good enough for that to be half of what he's doing. Like, he's not prime LaMarcus Aldridge level for mid-range or Dirk or anything like that. And he kind of takes shots like he is. This game, though, absolutely looking for more shots in the interior. He was super aggressive about getting in the paint, which I really, really appreciate. But as I mentioned, the defense is what really stood out. So I'm going to play 2 clips for you here. One of them is where he gets a really nice steal. He finished the game with 4 steals. Just a very heads-up play, and he ends up getting the layup out of it. And the other one is the fact that he jumped for this Jordan Poole drive and still managed to anticipate and cut off this pass to James Wiseman. That was a really, really solid play. Obviously out on the Lakers, but ultimately saved what would probably have been a layup had the pass gone through. So having the presence of mind there, just absolutely brilliant. And actually, I believe they counted that as a steal and full possession, and then he fell out of bounds. And then they counted it as, so the Warriors got a new shot clock. So we got a steal and a turnover back-to-back, which, like, how the hell was he not going to fall out of bounds? But whatever. AD looked great, all right? So that's one reason why I'm like, I didn't hate the Lakers' performance here all the way. Russell Westbrook looked good, man. Russell Westbrook was arguably the most consistent player on the floor. Like, AD probably gets that title, but just like LeBron was bad in the first half, all right? Russell Westbrook was pretty solid all the way through. He didn't shoot the ball too much. He shot the ball 12 times, which I think is the perfectly appropriate amount. Got to the rim, made his layups. He really only blew one layup that I saw. Rebounded well, passed well. There were a lot of passes that were frankly to open shooters, and it did not. The guys just did not make their shots. But again, if the Lakers shoot 32% from three, this is not a 14-point deficit. And I think the fact that they're facing the Warriors, who in moments in this game looked like peak Golden State type shit, that should be a positive sign for their future. Granted, Steph Curry shot very poorly in the first half, and Jordan Poole shot poorly overall. So, could use that as a little bit of a knock to be like, hey, we didn't get the best game from the Warriors either, and they still won by 14. I would just make the argument on the other side of that I personally believe the Lakers, they were way more competitive in this game than you typically expect for them. Now, in order for them to be a contender, you need to be more than just competitive with the Warriors. You need to actually stand a fighting chance. And I don't know that the Lakers are there. But I saw so much negativity about this game. I saw a lot of negativity in Russell Westbrook's direction, which was very confusing to me because it was not Russell Westbrook's fault. Like, and I'll be honest, I don't love the thumbnail that I made for this video because it kind of implies that like AD and LeBron are yelling at Russ, but like I'd say all three of them had pretty good games, and this is like the version of the Lakers that we think they can be, which is all three of those guys are healthy and they all contribute in some way. I would say all three of them had positive contributions to this game. And Russell Westbrook has the best plus minus out of anybody except for Patrick Beverley and like Wen and Gabriel and like a bunch of bench players. But among the starters, and speaking of Patrick Beverley, you know, he had a kind of rough debut, I think. He's had some good defensive plays. He had 4 steals, but he also didn't make any of his damn shots. He went 1 for 5 from 3. But, you know, as much people love to shit on Patrick Beverley, that was a good trade. So I don't mind that one either. Ultimately, I know it's contrarian to be a little positive about the Lakers, but I feel like this could have gone a lot worse, and there's not zero hope that they're a playoff team this year by any means. That said, let's talk about Golden State side of this. I kind of already mentioned Steph and Poole. Jordan Poole just had a rough game in terms of his own shot, but he had a really good playmaking game. He finished with 7 assists, but what stood out the most was how he looked operating as the lead ball handler, and in particular, mostly getting screens from James Wiseman. Here is a clip right here that I decided to highlight. There were a couple more like this, but the Jordan Poole, James Wiseman pick and roll looked like a really solid, reliable play. Jordan Poole got a lot of shots out of it that he just simply missed. But if that's going to be a consistent thing for them, that would be a really, really, really good source of offense on the bench. James Wiseman also looked great in this game for the, you know, limited opportunities that he had. But that source of offense off of the bench would make a world of difference if that's become a reliable thing. And that's also like maybe a glimpse into the future, because there was a lot of conversation in this one about the Warriors' future and like, you know, Kuminga, Moody, Poole, Wiseman, all of those guys getting big minutes in this one. Moody not so much, but Kuminga definitely had a good couple of defensive possessions on LeBron, actually. I believe he forced him into an offensive foul, although LeBron did have it challenged, and I actually skipped the result of the challenge, but whatever. Point is, there was a lot of good stuff from the young guys here, and a lot of stuff to be excited about on that end. And in terms of just the rest of like the general Warrior shit, you know, it was pretty bog standard. Draymond did Draymond things, Steph did Steph things, Wiggins did Wiggins things. Klay Thompson continued to take a few more bad shots than you're really comfortable with him taking, and a few more shots off of the dribble. It really seems like oftentimes the ball ends up in Klay Thompson's hand, and he's like, I'm going to score now, or I'm at least going to try. And, you know, so much of the Warriors' success is how much the ball is swinging around the floor. So for him to do that is a little bit concerning in terms of the Warrior system functioning the way in which it's supposed to. But Russell Westbrook was fine in this one. LeBron was fine in this one, although he started off rough. AD was really good in this one. And, like, if they're just healthy, I don't think we should believe the Lakers are just going to be a terrible team, at the very least. But I was just looking at my notes here. I also wrote, Jesus Christ, can anyone on the Lakers shoot? Oh, also here, JaMychal Green. I really like him on the Warriors, and Dante DiVincenzo, not as much, but he had some moments. And I will say, Lonnie Walker, 2 for 7 in this one. But overall, I would say that he played fine. Like, he had 5 assists. He filled the lane well. He made some nice transition passes. And he didn't take bad shots. Like, he played the role that he was supposed to. And it's good to see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this game. Goodbye.